What's good, YouTube? Plus Master here. Hope you guys are ready for a rant. Shouldn't be too long of a video though. This is going to be our introduction on how to play Metazoo. We're starting it off here because the first thing you gotta do is make a deck. So we're gonna be going over a tier list that's gonna be showing my opinion on the highest quality, straight out the box theme deck to the lower quality, straight out the box theme decks. Gonna be going over them. Should be showing you guys a few cards. Just a thing to note: some of the stuff from Cryptid Nations, it had a second printing, so on TCG Player they just didn't have the images. So don't worry, some of the prices aren't that expensive. If you guys are looking for some of those cards, they have second editions, which is a really cool thing about Metazoo. And another reason why I think it's a great time to get into it right now, because everything's a good price right now, but it's, once supply starts, running out of demand, because there's so much demand, it's going to be a lot harder to get those cards, and they could probably get a price increase. So make sure you kind of just pick up things that you might consider playing in the future right now too, if you already know what you are going to play and stuff. But hopefully this video can help you pick out your first theme deck and get you guys started on your first deck. And if you guys are looking for deck profiles, we got other deck profiles on the channel, so make sure you go check those out. Let's get into the video. Alright, so this is the tier list. At the top in S tier, we're just, going top to bottom here, discussing it. So we have the Stingray deck and the Reptoid Ruler deck. These two are going to be the strongest straight out of the box, and especially the Cosmic one, I would assume is going to go up even more in price because of next set. But we should be seeing some sort of theme deck, hopefully, for Cosmic, and maybe get a few reprints in that. So if you are missing some stuff and can't get a hold of it and you feel like you can wait, which is actually what I'm kind of currently doing for some cards, you might be okay doing that, because we might get some of that stuff in the next set. So, and then the Stingray one is just a super solid deck. It's pretty much the Torrential River deck as we know it right now in the meta. And I honestly think there's like a handful or two of cards that you just need to put in that theme deck, and you'll have a pretty good deck. And the more you get comfortable with that deck, the better you'll become as a player. It's just a super solid deck. Definitely recommend checking that one out compared to like all the other stuff. But if there is something here that like catches your eye and stuff, give it a try it out, see how it works, see if you like how it works and stuff like that. And this is just another really like important thing if you play other card games and come from other card games. Knowing your play style, knowing like what you're comfortable doing, like, and how you normally play other games. I mean, it's not going to be like dead set, like that's how you should play it in this game. But there's going to be that option in this game. So you can test out the game by doing something that you're more familiar with. For water, for example, they're like a draw, like niche deck. All they want to draw a bunch of cards, and their main idea is to get, one big guy that has the ability for all the water pages. He gets +10, and you kind of just smack him and get game that way, and kind of control the board state if you use the Leveling Frog. So that's mainly like what water is. Cosmic, I feel like, doesn't really have a niche. If it did currently, it would be kind of like playing from board to hand, like how some decks would kind of play from like Graveyard or Afterlife to board. So more like a zombie deck, but you're playing from your hand, which if you think about it, your hand could be like kind of like space. and the arena is more like Earth, so they're like going back up into space, going back up into their spaceship when they jump back into your hand or your chapter. So I would say that's like the closest niche that they really have. Let's see, number, the third one, it's not number based on it, honestly, but I mean, the first three here are the strongest ones. So, and then the Ding Bell deck, this is just mainly about getting guys out fast, getting guys out that are strong, paralyzing stuff to slow them down, and just smacking face to win the game, really, with lightning. So they're just like a fast aggro deck that can stun and irritate your opponent. So it's really good. Ding Bell is a good card. Quatless is a good card. Thunderbird. A bunch of good cards in lightning. It is still holding a name for itself, so that's good. Father Time. This deck is a little weak, maybe, but you do some work with it, and I think you can walk out with a really solid light deck that can win you some games. Possibly even the Fort Worth tournament, I think anyone has the possibility to win it that's comfortable enough with their decks. But also, with that statement, means that the people that have been playing this game the longest have the highest chance of win rates. And even with individuals playing a bunch of different card games, I think that's going to help a lot. But it's going to be in the individual on how they play and how much that actually helps. So I think it's anyone's game right now. Keep an eye out on underdogs and shit. Keep a eye out on the top hitters. Everyone's got a chance going into this one, especially with the meta not defined. Let's go. So that's light. You get your water to wines and the Father Time. That's the only way to get them in Wilderness. This one's from Wilderness. Ding Bell is from Cryptic Nation. And the two S tier ones are from Nightfall. The Hopkinsville Goblin is a solid one if you're considering dark. It'll be an easy way to, if you have access to this, to get this, to have some cards to look at and start figuring out like the structure of the game and stuff. But you're going to need to do a lot of work to get that thing playable, because there's literally only like 5 cards in there that you probably want. But it's still a good way to start. And the Sterling Owl, these two were my first ones. The Hopkins Goblin and the Sterling Owl. So Sterling Owl, I would just say Spirit being a really good rogue deck. Dark mainly just being their niche just mainly being like a good solid attacker. And usually they try to scare things or fear. So that means they're going to be like bouncing stuff back into your hand. They're going to be hitting for pretty solid numbers. And they have access to Death Beam, which is going to just remove one of your guys into the afterlife, which is considered banishing, basically, if you play other card games familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh! Or something. So, that's mainly their niche, and the one we're talking about. Spirits' niche is basically just, they loop. They are basically, like it's a reincarnation deck. There we go. I would say it's something like a reincarnation deck. You're playing your guy dies, you move it to the afterlife, and then you try to bring it back from the afterlife back onto the board to where then it'll die, to move it back to the afterlife. It's kind of like that. So you're just looping, like your guys, like the more guys you get into play, the more you'll have access, the more plays you'll have access to and stuff. So it like extends your hand by going into like the afterlife and the afterlife and limbo. There we go. So that's mainly their niche. Frozen, their niche is that they freeze stuff. So yeah, we'll get into the other status conditions later. Don't really worry about it right now. If you are curious, sleep, paralyzed, confusion, those are like the top 3. And sleep just being the highest because it's the most powerful. Sleep, we'll go over it real quick. Sleep. When you make something go to sleep, you flip a coin. There's heads. Will go to sleep and will stay asleep until they take outside damage from combat. Take double, and then it'll wake up. Paralyze. It basically becomes a vanilla blue eyes white dragon, pretty much, with just its little artwork there, and it doesn't really do much at all for 2 turns. So it's easy to smack it. You don't have to worry about it hitting you back. And Confusion, the harder one to come by because not too many Pokemon actually have Confusion. But the leader in this ice deck from Wilderness has Confusion, so he's definitely a good option to pick up. So definitely check him out. But basically, you're going to flip you put the Confusion marker on them. When that card with the Confusion marker fatigues itself, you're going to flip a coin. Actually, I think it's just attack. Whenever it attacks, you're going to flip a coin. And if it's heads, then you're good. If it's tails, it hits itself. And most likely when it hits itself, it's probably going to kill itself, depending on the beastie. But, yeah. So, Frozen, definitely being another really high tier rogue deck right now. Which, anything that's just not getting its name screamed out, I would consider rogue. And, after a couple tournaments, we'll have a defined meta, and then we'll have that for like a month or 2, and then there should be a new set. So that's what it's looking like. Okay, and the other water deck, so good options for water. Water is super strong. Everyone says it's the best deck. Everyone just says water, right? So it's just water, which Alpha will be a rogue deck, but it definitely does have the potential to see play just because it's water and you can utilize all those other powerful cards, which you can also utilize in other decks with the Prism Aura, depending on if you have space for it and stuff. So, like Dampen can go in any deck, all of that stuff, really cool. So, yeah, if you are interested in the Alpha Gator, I would definitely check it out, try to build it. See, you really just want to find something that connects with you, man. Like, because you're going to just be happy throwing down your guy at the end of the day. And the more comfortable you get with playing, the better you're just going to get with the deck and building the deck and giving it the tools that it needs that you just didn't know at the time. So just keep working on it. Alpha Gator's super good. You're still just going to get that niche of drawing stuff. You get to drop your little baby pizza eating gators, for 1 cost. But you have to have the city, so it's like another little thing. But Alpha Gator has a lot of play just in itself, so I recommend just picking up this box for future use. The bear is super sick, pretty solid. You can almost build a deck straight from the bear. I mean, I'm bringing you guys a fire list soon, but not really quite there yet. Missing a few cards like Hell's Gates and stuff, but. I will be bringing you guys a fire list. I'm still not solid. Like, this guy is just super good. And I love how people kind of call him Red Eyes Black Dragon. That was one of my favorite cards growing up. I wasn't a Dark Magician or Blue Eyes kid. I was a Red Eyes Dark Magician kid and Time Wizard Baby Dragon. That was my jam when I was a kid. I didn't want to play what everyone else was playing, and Red Eyes was solid. Like, to me, he was solid. That's all you needed. You didn't need that extra 100 or 600. The 2400 was chilling. Paul Bunyan, dope. See, that's another thing people probably know is Paul Bunyan. He's pretty familiar. Baby the Blue Ox. I wish this deck was kind of more of a Baby Blue Ox build. While being a Grass Fire, this is more of a Bigfoot build. It's pretty much just set. You probably just need like a few cards. Same as a Fire deck. Fire deck, you burn. You burn people. They attack while they're burnt or they're beastie attacks while it's burned, it takes 20 damage. At the end of each turn, you dial down that burn marker. Once it hits 0, the beastie or player caster isn't burned anymore. Forest, they just draw. Like, they just draw stuff. They want to be, you know, tribal. You know, they're all like from the same tree, branch, whatever the saying is. You know, so they tend to have like a tribal deal where the more that they are, the stronger they are and stuff. So it really works great with the Sasquatch deck, which the new Bigfoot from Wilderness gives you the win condition if you're not aware. There's like so many things, like if you're not aware, like, you know, try to keep you informed. But just if you have any questions, just leave them there. The channel is still growing, so I always get excited when I see you guys have some questions and stuff, and I will answer them as soon as possible to the best of my ability. You know, if it takes a while, it's just, you know, I need it sleep is all. Don't worry about it, I'll get to you. So, and if you already have comment, you know, I appreciate it a lot. It's cool. Yeah, I've been wanting a YouTube channel for a long time, and originally it was Yu-Gi-Oh! But by the time I actually could make it, you know, I wasn't really confident in Yu-Gi-Oh! I didn't have a passion for it. I have a passion for the cards of Yu-Gi-Oh! I just don't have a passion for playing it competitively anymore. There's better card games to spend my time. Like Metazoo. Like, I honestly think Metazoo outcompetes the competitive scene for Yu-Gi-Oh! Without a doubt. Like, without a doubt. I am looking forward to seeing how the competitive scene is. It is going to be interesting going to Dallas. Like, everyone's got, like, you know, 100,000 on their mind. Like, how nice are people actually going to be? But I think that's going to be the thing that, like, is going to stand out, you know? Like, this is an event. Like, and if you're only trying to go to this event, like, you know, whatever you do probably might not, you know, matter as much. You don't plan to come back, you know. But I think this game has a good chance to start off pretty well, because they're really concerned about the player, you know, and a lot of these people come from other games, so there is the chance of like good etiquette being there, you know. Just because I would assume, you know, like, I gotta be honest, like, a Pokemon is like the only game where there's not really like that toxic environment, I feel like. And there still is, but it has the least. And then Metazoo is just like trying to gather its player bases, so, and I mean, I love Magic, but I gotta be honest, man, some Magic players, like, they just don't rub me right, dude. Like, they are just, like, some of them just aren't nice people. And that's why I kind of tend to not play Magic, honestly, at my local shop, is because, you know, it just takes one bag egg in a group of fucking 6 to 8 people, and you just ruin freaking 3 hours of, like, 8 people's time, dude. Like, it's a heavy investment of time with Magic. You know, I don't feel comfortable with it. Like, I wish I had like a chill group, you know, to just throw down in Commander and shit. But it's not like that. I think I have a chill. It's mono red, you know, so it's not like I'm trying to fucking, you know, dominate everyone. But I did put a lot of effort into making the deck chill. So, but yeah, I'm a mono red dragon Magic player. Yeah, that's why I'm not. This doesn't sound too bad to me. Vanguard, I play Kagero, which are fire dragons. Fire dragons are my jam usually, you know. So I might be looking at that. But the cards that stood out to me in this game. Sorry, I'm just rambling right now, but hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Leave a like, subscribe. let me know what cards stood out to you guys when you first saw Metazoo, because the first card I saw that stood out to me, that made me want to play the game, then I saw the prices, was the Leveling Frogman. I saw that frog, and I was just like, I don't even know what it does. Like, the artwork is just so cool. Like, maybe I'll just pick that one up. And then it was like super expensive, and I'm like, you're not gonna do that. I still need to get myself a Leveling Frogman, 2 of them. But yeah, so then I got a little bit familiar with the game, started looking at some of the stuff. One of the first actual physical cards shown to me was Grim Reaper, which I thought the artwork on that was pretty sick, but I like kind of read it and I was just like, yo, like I don't even know any of these symbols. Like, I'm sorry, like I think the game's cool, like I just don't know what this is. Like, it's just too complicated for me to read it. So didn't really like do anything. Saw the artwork, found out Grim Reaper was a card that there was some really crazy way to win with it. When I got told about it, I heard that there was a way to cheat it out, and once I started playing, I learned that you can't. It's impossible to cheat it out. It's basically Venom and Naga, if you're familiar with older Yu-Gi-Oh. So that card's beast. I love that card. So it is a little bit harder to use, but then, so I'm looking at the cards and stuff, trying to pick up stuff, and the blister Cryptic Nation pack was just right there up in the wall on my local card shop, and it was a Mothman, and I've heard of Mothman being like a card, like it's on all these pictures of people advertising Metazoo and stuff, and I just saw that was a Mothman. I was just like, yo, that one looks sick, let me get that, and it kind of was my favorite card. So I would probably say, and Headless Knight is one of my favorite cryptids. Headless Knight, and I guess we technically can't say its name correctly because it's, out of respect for the tribe or whatever that bases itself around it. I need to learn a little bit more about it because I thought I did know about Wendigo quite a bit, and maybe there's just like another like story that I'm not familiar with. So I'm going to check into that a little bit, the lore about Wendigo. But Wendigo, Mothman, and Reaper, Jersey Devil, Leveling Frogman. Those are all my favorite. I love the Loch Ness Monster too. Like, that was one of my favorites. Like Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, that kind of stuff. Always like, that kind of like kept me around looking at the game and stuff. And I don't know, it was kind of weird, like right when I decided to like actually play and I picked up some cards, like I saw like a video saying that there's like the Fort Worth, Texas tournament, and I was just like, oh dang, like that's pretty cool. So that's where we're at now, man. So I got probably 5 to 7 decks built, and I just test against all of those. Like, I'm literally just trying to get familiar with everything. I don't know what I'm gonna play, but I do want to be able to play whatever you're playing better than you. That I hope is gonna increase my chances. So I just gotta make sure whatever I'm taking, I'm familiar with, which I have been trying to get myself really familiar with everything, but that's like the kind of thing, like, I'm getting so comfortable with all these decks, it's getting harder and harder to pick, because they all have the capability I'm finding now. It's just you playing in synchrony of what you need to do to outlast your opponent and outplay your opponent. So anyway, we'll go to the Ghost Marshal thing. Thanks for checking out the rambles, you guys. Maybe you guys fast forwarded. We're back. All right, we got the Ghost Marshal, dude. He's got the silver bullet thing. If you build a deck around this, it's a light build. The niche is basically blow shit up with silver bullet. As if it were a death beam for free cost. If you focus the deck around this guy, I think you have a pretty good chance of getting somewhere. If you don't, and you think that you can just splash certain cards that you like and stuff like that, you're gonna break. This deck's gonna suck. You gotta really focus. You gotta keep your mind set on it getting Ghost Marshal off. Because if you have cards in your deck that aren't doing that stuff, you're probably just gonna be sitting there doing nothing. So that's B. And there's kind of like this line, right? It's basically once you overpass B, you're like in really kind of sketchy waters, I would say. Like you have a chance, like Earth, like I'm planning on picking up the Earth theme deck, just because that's like one of the last ones that I need to make and get familiar with. And I'm just missing a couple cards that deck has, so I'm probably going to pick up that thing when I get a second. The Forest one, if you like the art of any of these cards, go for it. Like, everything has potential in the future. We don't know what's going to be good in the future, So if any of these things stand out to you, just pick them up. Consider them going down the road and stuff. So, but yeah, I would say S and A are things, if you're looking to go to Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas next month, try to go with the S or A list, and then B, if it fits your play style, it fits your interest, and it fits your comfort. Like, you get comfortable enough with it. Like, if you're comfortable with anything that's an A and S tier, go with that. Just go with that over anything in the B tier, because you're gonna just have a better day. Like, when you go and do these tournaments, you want to do the best you can. So you want to set yourself up with the least amount of mistakes and the least amount of thingamadoos, thingamadas. We're getting on this video for a while, man. But yeah, you pretty much just you want to go with something where you're gonna have to like use less effort to make these decisions that are gonna be important later down the road. And the more familiar you are with making the decisions, the less time it's gonna take, which is gonna help you in time to make the decision. And you will also know the situation of the decision that you're in. Hopefully, if you played the matches enough and stuff, so you can know the cards that the opponent has in their hand that would be necessary, and the mana costs that would be necessary for them to be able to stop your play. That's the idea. You want to be able to understand other people's decks and your decks so that you can have the best playable outcome for yourself. Because they're just odds. When you go into this, they are just odds. And it's like, may the odds be in your favor. So the effort, the training, the research, the play testing, all of that are odds that you're putting, you're buying. With your time, you're buying odds. Like, it's like buying like a lottery ticket. You have a higher chance because you're getting the time in of winning. So make sure you guys are doing that. And there's going to be more of these. The game is going off right now. I promise you guys. The game is going off. So if you're not going to be able to make this one, don't trip. There'll be another one. There will be another one. You will have plenty of time to play the Metazoo you want. All the Metazoo you want. Alright, so that's going to be it for me today. It's a little bit long, honestly. Kind of a ramble, but I mean, I'm having fun. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Is there anything you have a question on? If there is anything I said that is wrong, correct me. If there's anything you want to add or that you thought was interesting, just leave a comment. Whatever you want leave a comment. Make it appropriate. Obviously, it's not going to stay there if it's not. So, but have a great day, you guys. Thanks for watching, and stay safe out there. remember to subscribe to Shiny Ho Ho TCG.